Do you struggle with concentrating for a long period of time? Do you find yourself easily distracted? If so, you are not alone. So am I, and so are so many other people. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to actually focus on yourself and avoid distraction. Because the biggest distraction is right in front of you, and that is your cell phone. Oh, hold on, I got a phone call. Hey, what's up, Craig? No way, Craig! Oh my god, no, tell me, I got all the time in the world. Yeah, no, I'm not doing anything. Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Uh-huh. Eliminate all distraction. This will help you improve on yourself and focusing on your task. Something that you possibly need to consider in turning your phone off completely. Something that I personally do, and I add on a setting on the do not disturb. You can go on your phone now and you can add a setting where you can add what time you want to have do not disturb on. So for me, I have 9 to 4, Monday through Friday, so nobody can really reach out to me. And if you do want to add like emergency contact, like your mom or your dad, you can easily do that. Now, have you ever just zoned out or started to daydream when you're working or just studying? This happens to me so many times, and I'll be like working, studying, and then I just be thinking about a whole scenario in my head. I'm like, wow, these are the things that I could be doing, or did I ever turn off the oven when I left the house, and stuff like that, you know? And the best way to easily avoid this, and personally what works for me, was listening to lo-fi music. Now, not music in general where it like changes your emotion, but lo-fi music, nice, relaxing to help you study. Another way to actually focus is stay organized. Figure out what you have to get done each week. Something that I personally do is I use Notion. I have weekly to-do lists on everything I need to get done with the business side, my personal side, and my school side. And this helped me so much with using Notion because it helped me, one, stay organized, and two, figure out how to achieve my goals by taking small steps at a time. With all of that being said, this will genuinely help you keep track of what you have to get done each week. Another thing I like to look at this is when you're playing a video game, right, when you have to complete a mission and then those side questions, right, something that I always recommend is figure out your biggest mission that you need to complete for that week, and then complete some side quests, you know, some of the small things that you need to get done throughout that week. Taking breaks are so important when trying to focus on a task. There actually have been studies done when you take breaks in between, you'll be more productive and you'll actually learn more things when you are studying. Something that I personally do is when I start taking my break, I'll add a 10 or 15 minute timer and take a break on whatever I want to get done, you know, enjoy myself. And the great way to look at this is when you are studying for so long, when you are finishing a task, you need to reward yourself. And that reward is taking that 10 to 15 minute break for each session. Something that you need to consider when taking a break is the fact that your brain is a muscle. I mean, when your brain is constantly trying to consume information or complete a task, in time, it's going to need a break from what you're trying to accomplish. Because if you keep filling it up with more and more information, it's not going to help you in any certain way, and it's just going to waste time for yourself. Using a timer, has a huge upside, especially with studying and getting work done. There are thousands of videos on YouTube where it's like, study with me, you study with them for an hour, and then take a 10 to 15 minute break. And I highly recommend doing this because this will help you get a clear vision of when you start and when you end. You know, when we constantly are studying and constantly are working, we never know when the ending is going to happen. That's why I highly recommend adding a timer so you can know when there will be a start and an end. Everyone has different work efficiency, everyone has different work ethic, so definitely figure out what works for you. Practice mindfulness. This is a great technique to help you stay in the moment and not get distracted from thinking about in the future or in the past. And the reason why this is so efficient is because sometimes we get a distraction of not thinking about where we are today. You know, so there are times where I'm thinking about so much into the future and so much of what I have to get done, but then I forget about where I am today, where I am right now, and what I need to accomplish this very minute. The best way to practice self-mindfulness is honestly meditation. And something that I personally do throughout my breaks is meditate. And this helped me gather all my thoughts, all my feelings, and all my emotion so I don't get a burnout or so I don't get a mental breakdown on everything I need to get done for that day. Getting enough sleep is so crucial when focusing on yourself and the tasks that you need to get done. I highly recommend trying to get enough sleep, around 8 to 9 hours of sleep. And the reason for this is because if you don't get enough sleep, you are going to be stressful and you're going to be very tired and you're not going to think straight. And there has been studies done when you're stressful or overwhelmed or when you're really tired, there's not enough blood flow that goes through the brain to help you think straight. And there were times where I tried to sleep for 5 or 6 hours a night, and then when I had to get to work, I seen such a dramatic change in my work ethic and my work in general that it just wasn't as efficient as it was when I used to get when I slept 8 or 9 hours. And that's why sleep is my top priority of what I need to get done at the end of the day, is making sure I go to bed at a reasonable time, more like 11, and try to wake up at like 7. It's perfect. I mean, try to have a good sleep schedule. Don't mess it up during the weekend, because I know when the weekend comes, people like to sleep in, but if you generally sleep in, it's going to mess up your sleep schedule for that Monday. Exercising is another important factor in maintaining focus, and the reason behind exercising is because it helps you circulate energy through your focus and also reduce less stress. And exercising doesn't necessarily have to be going to the gym 5 days a week. You can go on runs, you can go on jog, whatever you have to do to get outside and moving that body. Now, there has been study done where if you have lack of exercising, if you're not going on enough runs, not going on jogging, or just being outside and playing sports in general, your brain will be very foggy, you're going to be very tired, and you're just not going to be able to focus on the right task because you're not being healthy. You're not keeping your body in shape. It's so important to focus on the body and the brain. Now, personally, something that I do is I go to the gym every single day, Monday through Friday, and I love it because this is how I honestly start my day before I get to work. I go to the gym right before I go to work. Now, literally, I go at 6 a.m., come home at like 7:30, and then I get to work at 8. And it's a great method to honestly start the day off. And if you ever do start that, it can be a game changer. I mean, you're going to be able to focus so much more. You're going to be able to feel so much better in yourself. Make sure you stay hydrated and eat something before you start on your task and when you start focusing on yourself. Especially if you have to go to work in the morning or school, it's so important that you eat a banana or have some cereal, because this is the way of how you can get your brain flowing. You know, one of the best things I recommend is orange juice in the morning. I love orange juice, and it's a great way to start off your day as well with that and exercising. There has been study done where people don't tend to eat anything or stay hydrated before they go to work or school, or just stay focused on a task because, well, they lack of nutrition and they lack of dehydration. And that's why I always recommend, like, if you're ever in a rush or you have to complete something, grab something to go, you know, like grab a water bottle, grab a little bar of snack, whatever it is, just to help you replenish your energy when starting your day. Now, by implementing these tips and tricks on everything I just went over, just remember, focusing on yourself is a skill set. Actually focusing is a skill, and it does take time to build up throughout time. So when you're first starting, take some baby steps, you know. If you have to, take longer breaks or shorten down your workflow, whatever you have to get done, because when actually focusing on yourself, it does take time. So that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for staying and watching. Make sure to check out last week's video. You do not want to miss it. It's a very great topic that I went over. With that being said, if you have any questions in today's video, be sure to comment below, and I will see you guys in the comments.